In old Macau where the frogs would play, a swampy mess, rocks in the way. 3 huge stones stood tall, they call this Tose Pagoda's rock. Tapsy at Tose, the 3 rocks stood tall, sitting there in the swampland. Tower Stone, Pagoda Rock, just downhill from the lighthouse. Let's make it into a new square, the second downtown maybe. In 1905 they had a plan. Let's ditch the swamp, make it land. With shovels and sweat they cleared the muck, turned it into a square. What the heck? Tapsy at Tose, your 3 rocks stood tall, sitting there in the swampland. Tower Stone, Pagoda Rock, just downhill from the lighthouse. Let's make it into a new square, the second downtown maybe. They made that swamp into one big old large square. They put up some damn cool buildings. Tapsy Square, you've changed. You've changed a lot. Tapsy at Tose, the 3 rocks stood tall, sitting there in the swampland. Tower Stone, Pagoda Rock, just downhill from the lighthouse. Let's make it into a new square, a second downtown maybe. So next time you're in Macau town, visit Tapsy where history's found. From swamp to square, it's quite the tale in Tapsy Square. No more frogs.
This sign has a lot of history to it, which I'm going to be talking about in this video. I'll do it with the music, and I'll also do it when I come on the camera and talk about it. But we're going to be starting at this top 6 square. They got some music there, but we're going to be walking down this street. That street is kind of related to this war with the Dutch during the Portuguese era. So anyways, we're going to walk down that way, so stay tuned. Okay, we got another one of Macau for you, and this particular one I'm going to put the music lyrics first because it's about the history of Tapsiek, which is pretty interesting because it used to be a field marked with these 3 big rocks. So that lyric might help understand a little bit of that. And then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the street sign behind me. It's a really long one. The first one is the name of the governor back in the 1900s, early 1900s. And then you see the Chinese is actually a transliteration, which is the first Chinese one, and there's 2 in parentheses, which is like Holland Gardens or Dutch Gardens. The reason behind that is because the Dutch had a pretty big military that tried to take over Macau in 1622. And most of that battle occurred here. There was like, I think it was over 300 casualties. Half of them were Dutch, and then the other half were people that were Portuguese descent, usually in Macau, or people that were supporting the Portuguese. So anyways, that's a little bit of history about that street. So let's put the map up behind me. So that's behind me now, so you can see exactly where we were. And then now we're going to do the walk and talk, where I'm going to take the camera and walk down this really cool street and kind of narrate, so you can kind of hear firsthand all the different stuff about what's along this way. So there you go, another sights in Macau. Let's get into the walk and talk. Pew. Okay, so we're going to be walking down this way, just kind of capture the beauty of these buildings. But yeah, that sign has a lot of history to it. And this actually goes down to Rua do Campo, and then so historically this would have been like Street of the Fields, which would have brought the historical Portuguese settlement out into this area, which is Lazarus. There's the street signs for it. Got a museum here and also the archives. So that's the Macau archives right there. Some really beautiful buildings here. So yeah, actually we're going to get these kind of buildings all the way down. So not all the way down, but we'll get it for a while. Let me just kind of so before we go, there's a festival down that way, and then just to kind of give you some background, the street used to go underneath here, and then they moved it, and now it goes underground. So when it comes up that way through Campo Street, it'll go underground and come up right here. So that's what that's all about. And then they build a nice plaza so people can enjoy the plaza, and they'll have events there and such as well. So that's kind of what some of the background of this area is at. Just kind of come in a little bit. So really nice. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep on walking down our focus street, checking all the stuff along. So there's some nice balconies right there, nice windows. Unfortunately, they look into traffic, but I don't know, maybe it's not too bad. I guess because people go underground in this spot, they might slow down a little bit, so it's not so bad. Yeah, those are some nice windows. I got a green light, I better get across. And then we have the House of Literature and such in this area. Let me just kind of capture this a little bit. So yeah, this is a really beautiful area, and I guess it came about, I think, in the 1800s. And but there's some history to this fields that involved a lot of Dutch people died when they fought the Portuguese. And this used to be kind of like a big land, open field, more or less, not too far from Gia Hill. So we can't see Gia Hill anymore because of the tall buildings everywhere, but I think we'll be able to see it through one of these side streets, I think. Here's Academy, open until 6, but now it's closed. Okay, so we're going to keep on going down. Yeah, you can't really see it, but there's a hill up there, and that hill is Gia Hill, and a lighthouse is up there. So up at that spot, they would have saw the Dutch when they came in, so that would have been some good history right in that spot. Okay, so we're gonna try to capture this light. And you got this beautiful architecture right there, right? Okay, so we're going to be walking across as soon as we get the green light. Or we might be able to run across. I'm going to just go across right now. And we also have this beautiful architectural building as well. Some nice trees. Okay, so let's see, get across here. Some nice corner buildings too, right? So yeah, this street would have been like this big, large promenade that would have went through. And then then I guess all the traffic started coming through too when the cars came, and then they changed that to that underground to move the traffic underground and keep that big open space. Actually, I'm not 100% sure exactly what year those things were developed, but I think a lot of stuff was happening in the late 1800s, which would have been just before the cars. So, okay, let me see. Some more nice buildings everywhere. And then this particular one is there's a garden right here. So this is a tea house. This is the one on the corner. So it's like a tea museum kind of thing. And it's also the corner where there's a beautiful garden inside. And I have filmed it other times. But today I'm just going to focus on our street. Some kind of cool window there. we got some nice, so this whole thing is called, it's a garden. I forget the history of the garden, but it used to be privately owned. All these buses coming through now. Let's see if we can get across here. It's kind of a tough spot with all the buses. It's a giant bus stop now. And it's getting a little dark, so I don't want to move the camera around too much. I was going to try to show you up to Gia Hill, but when it gets dark like this, it's kind of a lost cause. The camera gets a little shaky. The lighting. Some kind of cool looking apartments though. And then in a moment, we're going to there's a really interesting building up here, this yellow building. We're going to try to capture that in a moment. Let's see if I can get across here first. To capture this one building that I want to capture, I kind of need to be on this other side of the street. This yellow one. So I always thought this yellow one was kind of interesting. It's such a different kind of design. So straight ahead is the that big wall is the garden. And then you have this one that goes around it. You just kind of wrap around golden balconies. For some reason it looks kind of shut down. Just kind of walk this way. For some reason it looks shut, closed, like it's maybe something's wrong with it. For some reason I have a feeling people in the bus are looking at me, so nice balconies right there. So I feel like later when I look at the camera, I feel like there's a chance that I might get some funny images of people just kind of seeing what I'm doing. I think that the street actually ends, but I'm not 100% sure. Looks like it's going to continue a little bit further, so we're going to go across. Yeah, it does. So now we're under this underpass. We have kind of a major road right there. All the cars coming through, and then this one they go through the mountain, the Gia Hill mountain, so they'll be coming right from way over that way, which you'll be able to see later. We got all this traffic to kind of wait for. But yeah, right there they go up into inside of a mountain, and they also come down off of inside the mountain, so that's. And we'll see that a little bit more clearly in a moment. Okay, let's see. Looks like we should be able to get across now, I think. There we go. So I'm gonna come across here. And now you can see how that road goes across like that. Then it goes right up into the mountains, and that's called Gia Hill. And Gia Lighthouse would be up there as well. Okay, so we are going to go down this way. Looks like our street keeps on going. So I can still see the street sign right there on the corner. So I would like to keep continuing down the street and try to capture the whole thing. The lighting right now is pretty interesting as well. Check out these apartments, they look pretty cool. This is kind of a nice decoration right there, that big circle. I forget the name of that, but those are these little restaurants. They're kind of everywhere in Macau and Hong Kong too, has the kind of similar styles. we're still on our street here. Some kind of interesting alleys and houses too. Like that house right there, those apartments just look like one giant window. Okay, so we're gonna keep on going down. So let me see here, we got a little lane with the same name, Travessa, a small little one right there. But I just want to keep following down that road for today. I think it ends up at the cemetery that's straight ahead. That's what I think. Okay. So I guess we'll kind of try to go across. We've got another green light here. Got the lighting's kind of cool. That's kind of where we're coming from. Oops. And we're still on our street, so our street just keeps on going down. And actually it'll end at the cemetery down that way. So that'll be the ending of it. But I don't want to go all the way down, so I'm going to end it right here. But at least you kind of have an idea of what it looks like. I have another street I kind of have in mind that I want to film, so I'm going to go back that way. So we're just going to come back like this. And we're just going to end it right here. So yeah, that was our street. It started way down at Tapsiek, and it goes all the way down to a cemetery down at the end, which I'm not going to film on this particular one, but we did give you a pretty good view of what the street looks like, more or less. So another slice of Macau for you.
They had a plan. Let's ditch the swamp, make it land. With shovels and sweat, they cleared the muck, turned it into a square. What the heck?